I never believed the dead could reach across the barrier of life to speak again, not until the night my best friend, who had been buried for nearly 4 months, appeared online with a simple, impossible notification that shattered every rule of reality I had ever known. Last seen 2 minutes ago. That sentence, glowing softly beneath his name, felt like a hand gripping my spine from the inside. I stared at the screen for a long time, the dim blue light of my phone illuminating my bedroom walls while outside the winter wind scraped against the windows like fingernails. I remember the exact time, 2:13 a.m., because the moment is burned into me so deeply that I can never forget it. I was half asleep, scrolling without thinking, numb from a long day at work, when suddenly his name appeared at the top of my chat list. Ryan Parker. My best friend since childhood. Dead since July. My breath caught in my throat. At first, my exhausted brain tried to explain it. Maybe the app glitched. Maybe someone hacked his account. Maybe his mom finally logged in to retrieve old photos. But something inside me, something deep and instinctual, whispered that none of those explanations made sense. Because I had been with Ryan's mother the day after the funeral. I watched her unlock his phone for the last time and close the account. She told me she couldn't bear to see his name pop up anymore. She cried so hard she couldn't breathe. She would never have reopened anything. And even if she had, who would log in at 2:11 a.m.? Who would simply come online and disappear again? I waited. My thumb trembled above the screen, hovering over his name. I don't know why I felt afraid to tap it, but I did. Something about that green, online, now gone, felt wrong, like an eye staring at me through a keyhole. After about 20 seconds of hesitation, I tapped his chat. The last message I ever sent him was still there. I miss you, man. A message that was never seen. Never delivered. Sent weeks after he died. During one of those nights when my grief turned into a heavy pressure in my chest that I couldn't get rid of. And now, below that message, right where the typing indicator usually appears, 3 dots pulsed. Slowly. Smoothly. Like breath. I froze. Someone, or something, was typing. I felt this cold, draining sensation in my fingertips, like my blood was being pulled downward. My vision blurred for a moment. I blinked, swallowed hard, and whispered to myself, no, this isn't happening. The typing stopped. Then started again. Stopped. Started. As if whoever was on the other side was struggling. Or thinking. Or, remembering. When the message finally arrived, my entire body locked up so violently that I dropped the phone onto my chest. The notification lit the room with a pale flicker. It said, "Are you awake?" It took me nearly a minute to pick the phone back up. My hands were shaking so badly that I almost clicked a different chat. My heart hammered against my ribs like something was trying to break out. I wanted to close the app. I wanted to throw the phone away. But curiosity, no, something darker, something like a hook lodged in my ribs, pulled me forward. I responded with the only thing my terrified mind could form. Who is this? The dots appeared again instantly. This time they didn't hesitate. The reply came fast, too fast. It's me. Don't freak out. I sat up in bed, suddenly aware of every sound in my silent room. The faint hum of the heater. The distant ticking of the kitchen clock. Even my own heartbeat felt too loud. I typed, "This isn't funny. Ryan is dead." A full minute passed with no reply. Then the dots returned. I watched them pulse for so long that my eyes began to water from not blinking. Finally, the message came, "I know." My skin tightened. My throat dried. Something primitive inside me screamed that I should stop. I should put the phone down and call someone, anyone, and get out of the house. But instead, I typed, "If this is really you, tell me something only Ryan would know." The dots appeared again. Slowly. This time I could almost imagine a hand hesitating over a keyboard, trembling the way mine was. Then the message appeared. The day before I died, I told you I felt like something was following me. I told you you didn't believe me. I told you I was scared. You laughed. My body turned ice cold. Because I remembered that day. Every horrible detail. We were sitting in my car at 11:42 p.m. outside his apartment. He told me exactly that he felt like he was being watched everywhere he went. That shadows moved in the corners of his eyes. That he heard footsteps behind him when he was alone. And yes, I had laughed. I thought he was joking, or exaggerating. But he wasn't. He died in a car accident the next day. Or at least, that's what everyone said happened. How do you know that? I typed with trembling fingers. His response came immediately, so fast it felt like the answer had been waiting. Because I wasn't alone when I died. And I'm still not. I dropped the phone again, this time onto the blanket beside me. My chest tightened. My arms felt numb. Something about that message felt alive, like the text wasn't just written, but breathed. The room suddenly felt colder. The shadows near my desk seemed deeper. I forced myself to pick the phone up again. I typed, "Where are you?" My heart thudded violently. The dots appeared once more. This time, the typing indicator glitched, disappearing and reappearing so fast I thought my phone was breaking. Then the message came. I don't know what it's called here. Everything is dark. Everything sounds wet. It hurts to move. They're close tonight. They're listening. My breath hitched, the room around me seemed to shrink. My window creaked softly and for a terrifying moment I thought I saw movement in the reflection of the glass. I forced myself to keep reading as the next message appeared almost instantly, "Please help me. You don't have much time before they find you too." I almost threw the phone. My vision swam. My pulse hammered in my ears. Before I could even think, another message arrived, this one longer, frantic, messy. "They know I talked to you. You shouldn't have replied. They're coming. Don't go near the windows. Don't make noise. Don't look for me. Don't say my name out loud. And whatever you do, don't open the door." I stared at that last sentence for so long I forgot to breathe. Because at that exact moment, at 2:19 a.m., someone knocked on my front door. Not softly. Not politely. 3 slow, deliberate knocks. So heavy that the sound vibrated through the floorboards under my feet. I didn't move. I couldn't. My whole body locked up with pure, suffocating terror. Another message appeared, the fastest one yet, "Don't answer." The knocking came again. Louder this time, rattling picture frames on my wall. My phone slipped from my hand and landed on my lap, the screen still glowing, still open to Ryan's impossible messages. I didn't dare look toward the hallway. I didn't dare breathe too loudly. Then, with a sound that I can still hear in nightmares, something scraped down the outside of my door, slow, heavy, dragging, like long nails made of bone. The phone buzzed again. One final message. "They found me 4 months ago. Now they found you." I didn't know how long I sat frozen, listening to that thing scrape down my front door like it was tasting the wood, like it was trying to decide whether to break it or wait for me to open it myself. The sound was deep and wet, like something heavy and half-rotted was being dragged across the surface. Every instinct in my body begged me to hide, to crawl under the bed, to scream, to run. But the messages from Ryan kept flashing through my mind, the warning, the urgency, the impossible terror in those words. "Don't make noise. Don't go near the windows. Don't open the door." A soft thump broke the silence, like something pressing its forehead against the door from the other side. The air in my house felt heavier, darker, almost thick, as if whatever was out there was pushing itself into the space around me without even stepping inside. I stared at my phone, my fingers trembling, the screen smeared with sweat. No new messages from Ryan. Nothing except that final line, "Now they found you." I needed to move. I needed to breathe. Slowly, so slowly it felt like an eternity, I slid off my bed, letting my feet touch the carpet without a sound. My legs shook as I stood, the knocking didn't come again, but the pressure against the door, the presence, didn't leave. It was like a weight pressed on the wood, as if something leaned there with its ear listening for the smallest sound. I tiptoed toward my bedroom door, every step so careful it felt like torture. My house had never felt so long, so hollow, so fragile. The hallway ahead was dark except for the faint glow from the streetlight seeping through the curtains of the living room. A weak orange shape stretched along the wall, trembling like something was moving behind it, and my heart hammered so hard I was terrified the thing could hear it. When I reached my bedroom doorway, I leaned just enough to peer into the hallway. The front door was out of sight, around the corner, but I could see the light under it, a thin, unnatural line of darkness moving back and forth on the floorboards, like a shadow shifting feet even though no one was inside. My phone buzzed in my hand so suddenly I nearly screamed. I slapped my own mouth to keep the sound inside and fumbled to look at the screen. It was a voice note. From Ryan. 32 seconds long. I hesitated so long my nerves felt like they were burning. Finally, I raised the phone to my ear and pressed play. At first there was only static. Soft, muffled, like wind blowing through a hollow place. Then something else, something like breathing. Wet, labored, painful breathing. Then a whisper so broken it hardly sounded human. "Don't move," the voice trembled as if every word hurt. "It's right there, it doesn't know if you're awake, it only knocks to test." Another long scratch cut through the audio so loudly I pulled the phone away from my ear. A second later, an identical scratch echoed from the real front door, as if responding to the recording. My blood turned to ice. The whisper returned. "They can't see you if you don't move. If you stay quiet. If you don't look at them. But they can smell you when you're afraid." I covered my mouth again, trying not to cry. "I didn't know that the night I died," the voice continued, breaking, distorted. "I thought the footsteps behind me were in my head. I thought the shadows were tricks. I thought I was alone until it touched me. I felt my legs buckle slightly, and I grabbed the doorframe to stay upright. They followed me into the crash," Ryan whispered. When I looked back, I saw them for the first time. They were inside the car with me. Their faces aren't right. They don't blink. They don't breathe. They don't move until you notice them. A soft crack echoed from the hallway. Not from the door, but from inside the house. My heart stopped. My eyes darted to the shadows near the coat closet. It was darker than it should have been. Like something was standing there, absorbing the light. The voice note continued, whispering with more urgency. "They're not spirits. They're not demons. They're echoes. Echoes of something older. Something that doesn't belong in our world. Something that only finds you when your guard is down." The shadow near the closet shifted. Not much. Just enough that I knew it wasn't my imagination. I pressed myself against the wall, squeezing my eyes shut. "They followed me to the hospital," Ryan said. "I was still alive then. Barely. I remember hearing my mom crying. I remember trying to move. But something cold held me down. Something pressed on my chest. Something whispered in my ear." I was shaking violently now, tears spilling down my face. The shadow near the closet was bigger. Closer. Wrong. Too tall. Too still. "I didn't die in the crash," Ryan whispered. "I died when I opened my eyes. My stomach dropped so hard I almost vomited. The shadow moved again, this time unmistakably. A long limb sliding forward. The air thickened, pressing against my throat. I wanted to run. I wanted to scream. The voice note continued with a sound like something dragging over a floor, then Ryan's voice returned, frantic now. If it's inside, do not run. Do not scream. Do not turn on the lights. They hunt by movement, they wait for it, they crave it, the audio cut out with a harsh crackle that sounded like bones breaking underwater. Then silence. I couldn't breathe. The shadow in the hallway stretched farther, touching the wall like a dripping smear of darkness. Slowly, as if waking, it lifted something, an arm. Long, too long. It didn't move toward me. Not yet. It simply raised its head, revealing the faintest outline of a face that was too smooth, too wide, as if someone had pressed wet clay into the shape of a skull and forgotten to add the features. My vision blurred with terror that I stepped backward instinctively, just one tiny step. The creature snapped upright so fast I didn't see the transition, only the before and after. It knew. It knew I moved. Something scraped against the drywall as it shifted, tilting its faceless head toward me. My phone buzzed violently in my hand. Another message from Ryan. I didn't dare read it aloud. I opened it with trembling hands. If it saw you move, you have 60 seconds to get out of the house before it reaches you. Once it touches you, you won't die. You'll go where I am. My chest collapsed inward. The creature took one step, its movement silent but heavy, like the air shook instead of the floor. I needed to run. But the front door was behind it. The windows were too dangerous. I knew it could hear the slightest sound. I backed into my room as fast as I could without making noise. The creature stepped fully into the faint orange glow from the curtains. Its body wasn't a body. It was like a human shape filled with thick liquid, shifting beneath translucent skin that didn't fit right. Its limbs bent too softly, as if there were no bones inside. Its head stretched toward the ceiling with each breath, then shrank again as though inflating and deflating with dark fluid. I bit my fist to keep from screaming. Another step. Another. The 60 seconds were almost gone. I felt every one like a countdown in my blood. My only chance was the back door in the kitchen. If I could move fast enough, silently enough, maybe, just maybe, I could make it. I slid backward into the room, then turned and moved with the slowest speed my body could manage, my bare feet barely brushing the carpet. The creature followed, its steps quickening, its form twitching and tightening as if anticipation excited it. I reached the hallway corner. The kitchen was maybe 8 steps away. 8 steps between life and whatever waited in the place Ryan spoke from. I took the first step, the creature surged forward. I didn't think. I didn't plan. I ran. The hallway exploded with movement behind me, wet. I didn't know which direction to run. The creature in the house had stopped moving, frozen in the doorway like some grotesque statue made of stretched skin and shadows, but the footsteps approaching from the side of the house were steady, slow, deliberate, and far too heavy to belong to anything human. The darkness outside seemed thicker than it should have been, as if the night itself was watching, listening, waiting. My breath formed thin clouds in the winter air, but even the fog coming from my mouth felt too loud, too visible. And then my phone buzzed again in my trembling hand, the small vibration feeling like an explosion in the silence. Ryan had sent another message: don't run into the dark. They move faster when they're not seen. Faster when they're not seen. The words chilled my blood. I didn't need to look behind me to know that whatever had stopped in my doorway wasn't moving because I was outside, no longer trapped, no longer helpless. But something else was. The footsteps grew louder, crunching the frozen grass, coming closer from the left side of the house. I forced my eyes to stay forward, not daring to look at what approached. If they hunted by movement and fear and noticing, I couldn't give them any of that. I backed away slowly, my breath shaking, my bare feet numbing in the cold until I could barely feel the ground beneath them. My backyard was small, fenced with old, weather-worn boards that barely reached my chest. Beyond the fence was a narrow strip of woods, thin but endless in the dark. Too dangerous. Too open. Too quiet. The footsteps stopped. Completely. My body locked up like ice. I didn't dare turn my head. The silence was worse than the sound, absolute, suffocating, expectant. Something was right there. Inches from me. Waiting. My phone buzzed again. Every vibration felt like a scream. Another message from Ryan. They see you. They don't know what to do yet. Your outside it's harder for them. But they will choose soon. Choose. Choose what? My heart pounded so hard I felt it in my throat. My eyes watered from fear, but I fought not to blink too fast, not to breathe too loudly. Slowly, I shifted my gaze without turning my head, just my eyes, toward the kitchen doorway behind me. The creature inside the house hadn't left. It stood in the threshold like it was glued there. Its elongated head pressed against the top frame, bent at an angle that should have snapped its spine if it had won. Its arms hung low, almost to the ground, trembling with a slow, rhythmic motion that reminded me of something breathing, or waiting. It didn't come out. It didn't step forward. It simply stared without eyes, its faceless head tilted as if listening. But the thing to my left, the one whose footsteps had stopped, felt closer. Much closer. Slowly, agonizingly slowly, I turned my eyes, not my head, toward the edge of the house. At first I saw nothing but darkness. Then something shifted, an outline peeling itself from the wall like it had been part of the siding a second before. A tall, crooked shape, thinner than the one inside the house, but longer, its limbs bowing outward like they were made of stretched wire wrapped in skin. It bent forward slightly, its head dangling near its chest, listening. Waiting. My lungs screamed for air. My legs ached to run. But Ryan's message echoed in my mind, don't run into the dark. They move faster when they're not seen. My phone buzzed again and I nearly dropped it. Move slowly, Ryan wrote. Get to light. 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 The streetlight in front of my house. The one maybe 30 feet away. If I could get to it, maybe they wouldn't follow. Maybe they couldn't. But 30 feet in the dark felt like miles. And both creatures were so close I could almost feel the cold radiating off their bodies. I swallowed hard and took my first step, so small it barely counted. The creature beside the house moved with me, its head lifting slightly, as if sniffing the cold air. I took another step. A barely there crunch of grass under my heel. The creature twitched. I froze instantly. My heart felt like it would break my ribs. A soft, wet clicking sound came from its throat, or chest, or whatever it used for breathing. It stepped forward. Just once. A long, deliberate stretch of its leg that made the joints crack like frozen branches breaking. My phone buzzed. I didn't want to look. But I had to. Don't freeze. That tells them you know they're there. Just move slow. I forced my leg to move, muscles screaming. Another step. Another. It felt like walking through a nightmare where every motion was underwater and every instinct begged me to run until my lungs burst. But I didn't. I couldn't. I slowly angled my body toward the corner of the fence. Toward the side gate. Toward the front yard where the streetlight glowed like a distant flame of hope. The creature near the house followed. Not walking. Not stepping. Gliding. Like its feet barely touched the ground. Like it was floating on invisible rails. Shivers ripped through my entire body, but I didn't stop. I didn't breathe. I didn't blink. When I reached the fence gate, I reached for the latch with hands shaking so badly I could hear my knuckles crack. The metal clicked softly. Too softly. But the creatures heard it. Both of them. The one in the doorway flexed its limbs with a horrible rubbery stretch, like its entire body was preparing to lunge. The one beside the house tilted its head so sharply its neck made a sickening snap. My vision went white with terror. I pushed the gate slowly, so slowly, but the old hinges creaked with a long, whining groan that echoed far too loudly in the night. The creature beside the house let out a low, gurgling hiss. The one in my kitchen doorway took a full step outside, its body unfolding like a nightmare blooming into the cold air. Panic exploded inside me. I abandoned slow. I ran. I bolted through the gate, down the side of my house, tears blurring my vision as the wind cut my face. I didn't look behind me but I heard them move, both of them, fast, impossibly fast, their limbs slapping and twisting and pounding against the ground in unnatural angles. I sprinted toward the streetlight, my breath tearing out of my chest in ragged sobs. The cold asphalt burned my bare feet as I reached the sidewalk and dove into the halo of yellow light. I stumbled to my knees, gasping, choking on my own breath, turning back to look. They had stopped. Both of them. Dead still. Standing at the edge of the light like puppets with their strings cut. The tall thin one hunched forward, its arms dangling impossibly long. The other stood half-turned, as if frozen mid-lunge, its head twisted too far to be natural. They didn't move. They didn't blink, though they had no eyes. The moment my shadow touched the darkness beyond the light's edge, they leaned forward again, eager. Hungry. Waiting. I collapsed to the cold pavement, shaking violently. My phone buzzed, and I barely managed to lift it. A new message from Ryan. Good. The light slows them. Slows. Not stops. I looked toward the creatures again. They were still standing there, but their bodies twitched occasionally, small spasms, like insects caught under glass. They'll wait, Ryan wrote. They know you can't stay in the light forever. I wiped my face with shaking hands. What do I do? I typed. The answer came too quickly, too easily. You need to leave your house. You can't go back. They've marked it. My stomach twisted. My eyes darted back toward the creatures. They hadn't moved, but their heads twitched toward me whenever I shifted even a little. Where do I go? I typed. Anywhere with people. Anywhere with light. But you can't go alone. They're drawn to people who are alone at night. My hands trembled as I typed. Why me? There was a long pause. The longest since this nightmare began. Then Ryan replied. Because you heard me. I stared at those words, feeling the truth of them sink into my bones. I had heard him. I had listened. I had answered when something dead should not have spoken. They found me because I heard them too, Ryan wrote. Now they've heard you. A cold ripple crept down my spine as I read the last part of his message. And they want you to join us. Join us. Not join him. Join us. Plural. More than one. My breathing grew shallow. What are you talking about? I typed, my fingers slipping. Another long pause. Then, there are others here. People who answered. People who listened. People who looked too long. My mind reeled with horror. Where are you? I typed. What is that place? The reply came instantly, as if someone, or something, was forcing the answer through him. It's not a place. It's behind places. Between them. A dark echo of everything. The creatures twitched again at the edge of the light, their bodies bending slightly, as if growing impatient. As if the light was painful and they were deciding how much pain they could tolerate to reach me. They want me to go there? I typed. Yes, Ryan wrote. They want everyone who sees them. Why? The answer came after a long, agonizing pause. Because they're hungry. My entire body went cold. The streetlight buzzed loudly above me, flickering slightly, and a bolt of terror stabbed through my chest. If the light went out, I would never make it. I would be theirs. I need to go somewhere safe, I typed desperately. Tell me where. No typing dots appeared. No reply came. Nothing. I stared at the screen, panic building. Ryan? I typed again. Please answer. Still nothing. My breath came faster, colder, harsher. Ryan, please, my phone buzzed. A voice note. 60 seconds. I pressed play with shaking hands. I expected Ryan's voice. I expected whispers. I expected warnings. Instead, I heard something else. Breathing. Not human breathing. Slow. Wet. Thick. Growing louder. Closer. Then a deep, distorted whisper, turn around. And before I could stop myself, before I could think, I did. I didn't sleep after what happened in the tunnel. Maybe I didn't even blink, because every moment replayed inside my head like a loop I couldn't escape from. Mark's broken voice, the wet dragging footsteps behind us, the thing that wore my face, the creature whispering through static as if it lived inside the moments I didn't notice. By morning my apartment felt wrong, like someone had taken the place I knew and rebuilt it slightly off, corners too dark, shadows too thick, reflections a half-second too slow. The bruises on my arm were real, the dirt on my shoes was real, the faint cold smell of damp stone on my jacket was real, and the unread voice message from Mark was sitting on my phone like a living thing. I kept staring at the notification, voice note from Mark, 1:07 a.m. I hadn't touched it because I was terrified that if I pressed play, I wouldn't hear my friend, I'd hear the thing that had worn him. But avoiding it wasn't helping, the lights flickered when they shouldn't, the pipes made scraping sounds like fingernails on metal, and every reflective surface felt like a doorway. Finally at 9:12 a.m., after hours of frozen fear, I forced myself to sit on my bed, held my breath until my chest burned, and pressed play. At first there was nothing but cold, hollow static, then Mark's voice, except dead, strained, underwater, choking between wet breaths. Don't hang up, he gasped, followed by the dragging sound of something heavy sliding across a floor. It's still here, he whispered. It moves through the moments you don't notice, the empty seconds, the dark corners, the blind spots. Another dragging sound, closer this time, made my skin crawl. It's not after your life. It's after your place. My stomach tightened. Then he said, it replaces people. It wears them. It waits. Behind him I could hear a deep vibrating growl like something breathing directly into the microphone. When I died, it followed me, he rasped. It copies you first, then removes you. Fully. Something crashed in the background, a scream, a fall, and then Mark's voice dropped to a trembling whisper, don't look into mirrors. Don't answer if it calls your name. And if you see yourself, run. Violent static ripped through the speaker, and then, barely audible, in a shredded whisper that didn't sound human anymore, it's already with you. The message ended, and before I could even breathe, my phone buzzed again. A new notification appeared, Mark is typing, my whole body froze. Impossible. He was dead. But the blinking typing dots kept appearing, patiently, almost casually. Then the message arrived, turn around. My lungs locked. I didn't move. The phone buzzed again, now. Silence swallowed the entire room, no traffic, no pipes, no outside noise, just the soft, steady sound of breathing behind me, too close to belong to anyone but someone standing inches from my neck. I stared at the screen, unable to look away until another message appeared, if you don't look, I will. Something cold touched my shoulder and I turned my head slowly, inch by painful inch, until I saw the mirror across the room. My reflection was there, but it wasn't mirroring me. It was already moving, already smiling, already breathing independently. Its head tilted in a way no human spine should bend, and it raised a hand to wave at me with a slow, taunting motion. I didn't wave back, but it didn't matter. The reflection kept waving until its fingers split open and revealed more fingers inside, unfolding like a grotesque flower. Then it mouthed silent words I didn't want to understand but could read clearly. Your time starts now. My phone buzzed with another notification. Last seen, you, just now. My reflection's smile stretched impossibly wide as cracks began to spread from inside the mirror, fragile lines crawling across the glass. Something behind the surface pushed forward, pressing, straining, trying to break through, trying to take my place. Fully. Something crashed in the background, a scream, a fall, and then Mark's voice dropped to a trembling whisper. Don't look into mirrors. Don't answer if it calls your name. And if you see yourself, run. Violent static ripped through the speaker, and then, barely audible, in a shredded whisper that didn't sound human anymore, it's already with you. The message ended, and before I could even breathe, my phone buzzed again. A new notification appeared. Mark is typing. My whole body froze. Impossible. He was dead. But the blinking typing dots kept appearing, patiently, almost casually. Then the message arrived. Turn around. My lungs locked. I didn't move. The phone buzzed again. Now. Silence swallowed the entire room. No traffic, no pipes, no outside noise. Just the soft, steady sound of breathing behind me, too close to belong to anyone but someone standing inches from my neck. I stared at the screen, unable to look away until another message appeared. If you don't look, I will. Something cold touched my shoulder and I turned my head slowly, inch by painful inch, until I saw the mirror across the room. My reflection was there, but it wasn't mirroring me. It was already moving, already smiling, already breathing independently. Its head tilted in a way no human spine should bend, and it raised a hand to wave at me with a slow, taunting motion. I didn't wave back, but it didn't matter. The reflection kept waving until its fingers split open and revealed more fingers inside, unfolding like a grotesque flower. Then it mouthed silent words I didn't want to understand but could read clearly. Your time starts now. My phone buzzed with another notification. Last seen, you, just now. My reflection's smile stretched impossibly wide as cracks began to spread from inside the mirror, fragile lines crawling across the glass. Something behind the surface pushed forward, pressing, straining, trying to break through, trying to take my place. The reflection leaned until its forehead touched the cracking surface, and in my exact voice whispered, "Open the door." Immediately, from my real front door, someone knocked. 3 slow, patient knocks. Then a voice identical to mine said, "Let me in. You've been gone too long." That was yesterday. I haven't opened the door. I haven't gone near the mirror. It keeps knocking, sometimes speaking, sometimes laughing, sometimes whispering things only I should know. But I won't open it. I can't. Because whatever is outside isn't me. And it wants the one thing Mark warned me about, my place. My phone just lit up again. Last seen, you, 2 minutes ago. I'm not touching my phone. I don't know who, or what, is using my account. The knocking has stopped now. The silence feels heavier than the sound. And from behind the mirror, something is breathing. If you hear from me, if you see a message from me, if I call you, don't answer. Because it won't be me. To get more videos like this, please like the channel, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon next to it.